Hello everyone, welcome to our Accounting 201 Intermediate Accounting online this semester. We're grateful that you've joined us, grateful that you've chosen Hack to further your education. I hope that this class will be interesting and challenging and an opportunity for you to really increase your understanding of financial information and the communication of that information. So this video is just to help you feel comfortable finding everything and knowing what the class is about. I do want to point out that this is intermediate accounting. It builds on the information you've already covered in earlier accounting classes. There are certain assumptions that you're familiar with financial statements and journal entries and how those are made and adjusting entries, and we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to look at complicating factors, and we're going to consider more complex financial statements. All of those things to be able to further and prepare you to be able to interact in an accounting environment and be able to communicate and understand what is being communicated with financial information. So let's dive into our course site here. Entirely online course, asynchronous. There is no scheduled class times or scheduled Zoom sessions. We've put everything that you will use most likely, most of the time, up here at the top and one click away. So anytime you need to come back to the course home, you click there. Content is all of my the learning modules to read and study from. Discussions. Dropbox is how we'll turn in literally everything. Homework, written assignments, tests, all would be done through the Dropbox. If you check your grades, where you stand, even better, class progress will tell you what activities you've done and haven't done, as well as show you not only how many points you've earned, but like it does in grades, but it will also tell you what you need to do to get a certain score at any point during the semester. Resources, links to the library, other hack resources that you may use or need, and of course email through the system. You'll see later that I have my own separate email. I prefer you use this email through the course. It's easier to track who's emailed me from where if it comes in that direction. So in the middle is our updates that we'll try to use as a keep you informed of things in the class, what's due, what's coming up, what we're covering this week. And my contact information will always be right here on the main page. If you need to reach me, those are the various ways that you'll be able to do that. So perhaps the best way to look to get started or to understand what's going on in the class is to go to the syllabus. So the first module is the syllabus and introduction to class module. Okay. Besides the syllabus here, there are a couple of videos about how to be successful in this course, what's kind of our emphasis and our focus in intermediate accounting. So there are short videos that you might want to check out and help you feel like you understand where we're headed. But let's pull up the syllabus here, link to it here, the PDF version. There's a PDF and a Word version. And we see the information, including, since we're online, our office location is on Zoom at this link. This will be where my office is, and the times and days that I will be there waiting to answer your questions. Tuesday, Thursday, 10 to 11, and 1 to 2, and Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. So that's 10 to 11 a.m. and 1 to 2 p.m. Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. Okay, or you can make an appointment. If those don't work, let me know, and we'll find another time. Okay. Other information that you may be interested in, some phone numbers, contact, refund date, link, all there in the syllabus. This is what we're going to be learning about, the conceptual framework of accounting. We're going to apply it to the financial statements. So we're going to learn about principles. We're going to learn about adjusting entries, correcting entries. We're going to talk about each of the financial statements in depth. Then we're going to go back through and talk about some of the complicating factors, some of the specialized areas that affect each of those statements. You should have taken Accounting 151 and gotten at least a C to be in this course. That's what course we're really building on, is Accounting 151, where you learned how to do adjusting entries. You learned about the different parts of the financial statements, that sort of thing. We're going to do a lot the same outline, except we're going to just go into a lot more depth. So our learning outcomes listed there to refer back to. Expectations. I do expect you to need help and ask questions. I do expect this to be somewhat of a challenging course. There's in every learning module, there's a discussion board that is ungraded. It's just for you to ask questions and get responses from other classmates, from myself, to be able to understand it. We do not have a traditional textbook. All right. There will be some readings. There will be podcasts, explanations that you will go over each week. And we'll see that as we look at the first module. Okay. I will respond to your questions within 24 hours, usually much sooner than that, to help you understand. I'm expecting those questions. Don't worry. Don't ever hesitate to do that. 2 tests. There'll be a midterm and a final. They'll be very similar. They'll use Excel. It'll be a big financial statement problem, which will involve you producing financial statements from information that is given, applying the different things that we've learned all through the semester. So that will be a big part of your grade. We will also have some discussion postings each week that will help you hopefully apply the information that you learned in that week. That's usually you're going to have to make at least 2 discussion posts. One is your original post. The second is your response to someone else. You need to respond to at least one other student. You certainly can respond to more. You can post more than once. You can make corrections to your original post if you decide that it is not appropriate. You will not be able to read other people's posts until you post, but once you have and read others, and that is the idea, that we should read as well as, it's a discussion, right? So you're supposed to be posting and reading. If you read other postings and yours you feel like is lacking and you would like to update it, please just go ahead. You do not need to ask for permission or anything like that. Just edit it either by posting again or by editing directly. Either one doesn't matter to me. Okay, but the original post needs to be done by Saturday, and at least one follow-up by the following Tuesday. Okay, otherwise they'll be late. So please jump in. The earlier in the week we can do the postings, the more back and forth we have time to do, and the more we can learn about that material. There, an assignment. The other big grading piece is the annual report project that we will talk about a little bit more later, but it is a series of questions you'll answer by referring to the annual report. You'll be working as a group. Maybe you may want to use Google Docs. You do not have to, but you want to collaborate together to come up with your answers such that you can all feel good about the way you responded to the questions. The questions for this report are at the end of this syllabus. So when we just go ahead and scroll down to the end, and you'll see Group Annual Report Project, and there are 54 questions that need to be answered in that project. Please do not wait till the very end of the semester to do that, even though that's when the due date is. Homework. Each week there will be homework based on the information and the application of the principles we learned during the week in that module. Again, because it's not a textbook, it's not a traditional textbook homework. It's going to be some type of a sheet or worksheet that you're going to need to download, fill out, work through, and then upload again by Saturday of the week. Then you will be able to watch an explanation video showing what I think the answer should be, and then you can make any corrections with explanations in a different color on that homework and repost it into the same Dropbox by Monday. Whether you get it right the first time or have to make corrections and get it right, then it is the same. It does not matter in terms of the points given. If you don't make corrections or you only do part of it or things like that, then we have to go to alternative ways of calculating how much you have done from that homework to get your scores, as you see on that kind of outline of how I'll score your homework. This is our calendar, okay, showing each week. We have the traditional spring break, all right, and everything through the end where we have the final exam and group report due in May. This is how your points will be distributed. So 2 tests are worth 100 points each, or 200 points. That's your 2 exams. You see the homework are worth 20 points each. So cumulatively, the homework is worth more than the tests. Annual project is worth 100, and then your discussions are worth another 130. You'll be graded on those, okay? If you are going to, you can work on everything anytime, but things have to come in by the due date, okay? If you let me know, we can make arrangements if you need to be late because of unforeseen circumstances, but they will be worth a reduced number of points, but to be accepted, there has to be some notification of the instructor of what the situation is. Attendance withdrawal policy, and if you need accommodations, all of the links, everything you need, and a description of academic dishonesty. Please just do your own work, except, of course, when we're working in our group on that project, then, of course, you are expected and wanting to work together. And please do. Working on homework together is not a problem. Copying each other's homework is. That is not going to help you learn. So remember, our focus is actually on helping you learn, not on just getting through by copying and using somebody else's work. So let's go. We return to our content. There is an introduction discussion. All right, I hope you will introduce yourselves, but let's look at the first module, so you know how things are going to kind of lay out each module. They're all pretty close to pretty similar, despite the different topics that we're covering. So first submodule, you might say, is our readings and explanations. And so this one, we have a kind of an overview, then a explanation Word document, a video giving you explanation, my thoughts about that document that came from the FASB, okay, a PowerPoint presentation with some more visual representation of some of the principles of accounting, and then my explanation of that as like I would do if I were going over it in class. A second video to do that same thing, okay, referring back to the same PowerPoint, and then a representation briefly of how accounting principles are used outside the United States, internationally. Okay, each module will have the discussion submodule where you can have just your question answered discussion. This discussion will be the first graded one, how to use the codification. In this case, there's a video explaining how to use that, and then you can go to the discussion board, and the question that I want you to use the codification to answer is found there. Remember, when you go to the discussion board, read carefully the questions, the requirements, so that you are answering the right question and that your follow-up post is in accordance with what the requirements are for the assignment. Then, and again, you don't have to necessarily do things in this order, but I would always do the reading and such and the watching of the podcast first. But whether you do the discussions first or the practice first or whatever is up to you, of course. And then the practice is applying what we did in the reading and explanation and either some problems. Typically, I'll give you a problem that I ask you to work out on your own, and then I will show you the answer. Okay, now there's no requirement that you do so. I haven't put like a lock on the explanation on these practice ones, but you'll probably learn more if you try to do it on your own and then look at what I did rather than just skipping and going to what my version of it. And then once you've done the practice and you've done all the reading and you've done the discussion, probably discussion before, but you can jump in and try the homework. And again, we work through the homework. There'll be some type of problem attached to the Dropbox or in a separate document close by where you will have some information given and that you'll have to put it together. In this case, you're going to be answering some questions, writing some details about applying the general principles to a particular situation. Do that, you upload it into the Dropbox, then you can review my review, but you cannot see or click on the homework review until you have submitted to the Dropbox. This is what you're going to use to make corrections and updates and explanations to your homework. You want to make sure that you not only put in correct answers, but what you were thinking, what the answer is different than what you were thinking, so that you can then take that same explanation and use it to prepare for the exam, both exams in that regard. If you just put down a different number or a different statement and you haven't done any explanation and it's not in a different color, you're going to be hard to use that as a reference point in your studies. So that's how each module is laid out. Some reading, some discussion, some practice, homework. Okay? And then there'll be a Dropbox for the report. The exams will be worked through it in Excel and put it in the Dropbox. We'll take a week to do both, a week dedicated just to our 2 exams. So where there will be no other material, just the exams to work on. So that hopefully helps you feel comfortable to know where things, how to ask questions that you feel like you can go forward and be successful in intermediate accounting this semester.